What's up, guys? Today I'm back with another video about Horrific Visions. Today we're going to be doing a run through Horrific Visions of Stormwind with 5 masks, and we're going to be doing a full clear without using any orbs. As we go along, I'm going to be talking a little bit about what I'm thinking about, things that you need to know or that would be useful for you to know as a player trying to do these visions yourselves. Everything from gear to strategies and what to keep in mind in specific pulls. So first of all, on the screen always you can see down in the bottom right you will be able to see my Azurite traits as well as my essences and my talents. On the left side you can see my stats as well as my corruption. So I'm just putting on these masks and getting ready to go. You can see that I'm running Twilight Devastation, 1 rank 1 and 1 rank 2, as well as Expedient, which is 12% extra haste from all sources, which is giving me quite a good amount of haste. See, I'm not getting a lot of mastery. That's not really a stat that you need, since Horrific Visions, when you're doing them solo, it's going to be mostly about how much damage you can output and not so much about healing. So, diving into it, Twilight Devastation, that is a corruption I would highly recommend going for when doing these Horrific Visions. It's very, very strong for dealing with all of these big AoE pulls. As you can see, that is exactly what I'm going to be doing here. I'm just pulling pretty much half of this area in one pull and getting ready to clear it. As you can see here, I proc my Gift of the Titans. If you don't know how this buff works, it is very useful to know, because that is a big part of being able to safely clear these Horrific Visions. So this buff will drastically increase your haste and give you plenty of positive effects, as well as making you completely immune to losing sanity, which is very important for avoiding a lot of mechanics. You can see me here as well. Check on the ground, there is a dead guy near the start, and next to him is a potion. This potion is always the bad potion. What that means is whatever color that potion is, that will always make you lose 100 sanity when you drink it. And luckily for us, there's like a set rotation of potions, kind of. So once you know which potion is the bad potion, you can actually figure out all the rest of the potions and exactly what they do. I'm personally using an add-on called Handy Notes with the Horrific Visions sort of supplement for Handy Notes. This will give you sort of a list on the on your map that you can check. You saw me check it there at the start, and you can see which potion is a good potion. You can see me there drink one of those black potions that give me 100 sanity back. You can see there behind one of the boxes I pick up an odd crystal. If you don't know how these odd crystals work, here's another one now. They are generally pretty well hidden crystals. There's 10 of them in total throughout the whole Horrific Vision. There's 2 in each area, and the more of them you pick up towards the end of the vision, you can hand them in to a guy and he will give you corrupted mementos based on how many you've found. If you find all of them, you will be rewarded with 425 mementos. They're generally pretty well hidden, pretty sneaky behind boxes, inside houses, stuff like that. But there's also not that many different spawns for them. So once you learn the spawns, they're not that hard to find. You saw me, by the way, dip into a house there and kill a bear and some spirits and stuff. That's going to give me a 10% haste buff for the duration of the entire vision. The buffs are not consistent, they're not always there. It's kind of random which ones are up for a specific run, but this time I got the haste buff, so that's very nice, because No, haste is great for me. See me do another big pull here, and you do have to be a bit careful in these big pulls. You can take a lot of damage quickly if you're not careful, so do recommend using your defensives, and you know, always keeping an eye on your HP bar and being ready to use like health pots, stuff like that. That's very important for keeping safe. If you've been paying attention to the pulls so far, you can see that Twilight Devastation, as I mentioned earlier, is doing a lot of work for me. It is such a big time saver, and while I would say that it's absolutely not necessary for you know, full clearing with 5 masks, it is definitely not. I did it plenty of times before I got any Twilight Devastations. I didn't get in them until quite recently, actually. But it is a huge time saver, and in terms of sanity management, that's going to make life a lot easier. And I don't think I would be able to full clear without using any orbs if it wasn't for the Twilight Devastation. You can see there it just absolutely decimates an entire pack when it procs. So that's something that you should keep in mind and keep playing around. So you can see I'm already getting a lot of value, by the way, from those potions. Knowing which one is a good one that gives me sanity back, very, very helpful. Already given me a couple of hundred sanity extra to work with. Okay, all the explosives are set. I have, however, not picked up all the crystals yet, so you'll see me go over and kill these 2 mobs. Kind of inefficient to play 2 mobs alone, but I want that crystal for the full corrupted mementos reward, so grabbing it over there in the corner. Now we're going for the boss. Another useful thing you see me use here, you see that I use my trinket there. This trinket from Mout. It's the Forbidden Obsidian Claw. If you're doing these horrific visions as a healer or as any intellect DPS, really, it's a super useful trinket. It does a ton of damage, and on top of that it scales with haste, so if you, for example, have a gift proc like I did there on the boss, it will do even more damage and just absolutely decimate these elites. Alright, going into the next district. This area is actually quite a dangerous one, and you'll see me misplay it a little bit, so this can be a good learning experience, I guess, to get a nice Twilight proc there. But here's my first mistake. I go into this mini boss with no gift proc. I don't have my trinket ready. I had 1 crucible, I think, going in, but just the 1, and you see this guy is actually taking quite a while to die, and you see me kind of struggling a little bit. I do end up not really losing too much sanity, but I could have easily lost a lot of sanity there if I, you know, messed up on one of my split personalities, for example, ran into it, and I get hit by a mechanic. You know, these kind of things, they can snowball quite easily. So it is important to be careful with that stuff. Alright, so now we're getting into the meat of this area. We got a lot of these similar looking pulls. Usually they have 1 or 2 of these SI7 informants that you just saw me kill. These are the most dangerous mob in this area, and they should always be focused down. The reason for this is they have an ability called Touch of Abyss, which is like a 5-second channeled stun. They will start casting this maybe like 8 or 10 seconds or so into a pull, and you know, being stunned for 5 seconds, that will usually mean death with this many masks on, because the damage output is pretty high. So it's very important to kill those quickly. You know, as a lot of other classes, you will be able to just interrupt it, but as a Resto druid, no interrupt available, so you gotta make sure you kill them fast. You can buy yourself a little bit of time by using Typhoon to stall, but they will immediately recast after landing from the Typhoon, so it's only gonna buy you so much time. Again, you see me pop that mouth trinket. It's really doing work here on this guy, and he's already dead. On top of that, if you were not aware when you're playing these visions solo as a healer, all mobs have about 40% or so less health, so that's why you see a lot of these mobs maybe dying faster than you would expect. So as you can see, I use my cooldowns. I don't have that many like damage cooldowns as a Resto druid, but I do have that trinket, I do have berserking, so you will actually see me backtrack here a little bit. I'm gonna go try to find the crystals and such. This is both because I want the crystals, but I'm also trying to buy some time, get those cooldowns back for the next mini boss. So I'm just cleaning up these mobs here. I actually end up getting stunned there for a second. That was pretty dangerous. If that mob had lived just a couple of seconds longer, that could really have punished me pretty hard, but luckily it died to dots right as the stun went off. Going into the house here, this is a location where both a crystal can spawn as well as a chest, so this is a good place to check out if you're looking for some extra corrupted mementos. It's a pretty dangerous AoE pull though. There are 2 informants in here, so it is important to focus those down. Of course, when you clear up the pull, this guy will aggro. It's a little mini boss type guy. Unfortunately, does not trigger elite extermination, but you know, let's clean him up. Check upstairs. Here you will find a crystal. Alright, I think it's about time that we head off to the mini boss. I have my trinket ready now. I'm gonna have berserking in a second. We have about 300 sanity to work with right now, and just 1 pull to do right before it. Here you can see, by the way, just how dangerous these pulls can be. If you pay attention to my health bar here, you'll see me just almost die in just a matter of a few short seconds. So again, it's very important to, you know, be very alert and be ready with like health potions, your defensive, stuff like that. I'm also running prosperity and soul of the forest. Always have swiftmans and just these quick bursty heals ready, so I can top myself quickly. I'm running a bit low on sanity here. I have about 200 going into the fight. You see me pop bloodlust as well as a pre-pot to try and kill him as quickly as possible. I do actually end up making an absolute mess of this fight. As you can see, I'm getting disoriented here, getting feared, and the disorient really hurts because you turn around, your character model kind of turns around randomly, which will make these eyes of chaos deal their sanity damage to you, so end up losing quite a bit, and I actually almost proc my sheet death here. But luckily he dies to dots and I just barely make it out, and of course that gives me 200 sanity back as well as proccing my Gift of the Titans, so I can't lose any more sanity for a little bit, which makes me kind of stabilize there at 250, and we can keep going without issue. This pack again has an SI7 informant. Need to focus those down. See me get a bit scared here. I'm taking a lot of damage from the executioner, and this actually could have also easily like triggered my my sheet death there. Luckily that didn't end up happening. The SI7 informant died from dots shortly after getting the stun on me, and I'm able to clean it up and keep going, as well as finding another black vial there that's gonna give me another 100 sanity back. There's 2 stealth mobs here. Somehow this time I just kind of ran past them and they didn't pull. Like you can see, I'm kind of confused there. Like I'm looking behind me to, you know, engage with the mobs, but then I see I'm not in combat, so I just kind of keep going. Usually those will pull, so we'll have to play those. You'll see me kind of stop here for a moment. I'm gonna make sure I kill a couple of mobs just to get that Gift of the Titans proc. It's very nice to get that going into this particular mini boss, because he does this agonizing torment cast, which again, as a Resto druid, you don't have an interrupt, and that just does sanity damage to you. You can't push either, so Typhoon doesn't do anything. So if you don't have a Gift of the Titans proc, you kind of just have to take it, and you're just gonna end up losing like 50 or so sanity maybe by killing him. See me look in the corner there. That's another spawn point for a crystal. Wasn't there this time, but I do end up finding a sanity potion. So at this point we're almost topped again. We're about 420 sanity, and we're of course going into the next mini boss, so this is gonna give us another 200 sanity back, so it's pretty much gonna top us off again. So even though it was looking kind of rough sanity wise there for a second, like this part of the run just gives you a lot of sanity very quickly, because there's just 3 elites almost back to back. There we go, fully topped off, cleaning up the rest of these mobs. And you actually saw me check as well mid-fight there. I checked in a corner and saw there was a crystal, so you will see me pick up that very shortly. So for the most part in these horrific visions, it is like sanity should not be that much of a concern. Like clearly you can see I'm not doing anything too special, I would say. I am keeping a good pace and doing these relatively big pulls, but I'm not doing anything too crazy that you know, your average guy cannot do. And I'm still able to clear with without using any orbs. So I think if you have somewhat, you know, decent current gear and you know your class, you should definitely be able to 5-mask full clear at this point. So you know, if you haven't done any 5-mask full clears yet, you can see that sanity really should not be the issue. I think the bigger issue is you know, maybe not knowing the mechanics of all these mobs and getting hit by a lot of avoidable things. That can be really what makes you lose these runs very easily. See me go into the bank here. You know, I talked a little bit about the haste buff earlier. This is a crit buff. You know, killing this guy will just give you 10% crit for the rest of the run. Not a super big deal, but it is nice to have every advantage, you know, and it only takes a few seconds to go in there and kill him. So I do recommend doing that. It is random which buffs are up for any given run, but you know, there's a crit one and a haste one and a versatility one. Not sure. I know in Orgrimmar there's a HP buff as well, and there's a damage buff, but not sure if there are any more. However, if you do have handy notes, as I talked a little bit about earlier, that will not only let you know which potions are good and bad, you can also see stuff like spawn locations for crystals. You can see all of these buffs. So all around, this is a very helpful add-on if you don't really know what's going on in these visions, because there is a lot of like hidden stuff that can really benefit you. Again, we've talked quite a few times already about Gift of the Titans, but it is really one of the standout things, like learning to play around Gift of the Titans. You see me here, like the weak aura on the left side of my screen, that just disappeared. That means Gift of the Titans is off cooldown. And once it's off cooldown, it's very high proc chance whenever you kill an enemy. So immediately I'm just ready to go. When it procs, I'm just like already moving towards this mini boss and getting ready to pull it as soon as the gift procs, because this mini boss can be actually quite dangerous if you're not having a gift proc, just because his abilities do very high sanity damage. You can avoid them all, but you know, it's not that easy to avoid everything. There's just a lot of mechanics going on. You know, you got split personality that will make you have to stop. You've got, you know, most likely more than one mob that will do their own sort of mechanics. You got these circles on the ground that will fear you if you don't move. There's just a lot going on, and you know, with Mask of the Daredevil that increases all the sanity damage you take by 400%, you can easily just instantly lose all of your sanity if you get disoriented or something. So luckily this time nothing dangerous when I'm getting this disoriented, just this creepy crawler. These greater void elementals, they're actually quite dangerous. This pack can easily, you know, be a danger to you. Luckily I get not only a Gift of the Titans proc, but also a Twilight Devastation proc here, so I just immediately absolutely evaporate that pack. See me grab a crystal there, and we are moving on. These void elementals, they don't really do a lot of damage on their own, but they do apply the void buffet debuff that increases all shadow damage taken by 100%, and pretty much everything in here is going to be doing shadow damage, so it can be very, very dangerous in combination with other mobs, like the pack that you saw earlier with the two Mind Flake guys. That can do a lot of damage, So I'm just moving into the last elite here. You see me have about 180 sanity to work with right now, but we're of course gonna get another 200 from this guy, so we're almost done. Still looking very healthy on sanity. We just have one more odd crystal to grab, and we are completely, you know, clear with this area. It's burrowing at appendages, quite annoying, can be a big time sink, these guys, since they kind of burrow on the ground. See me grab the last crystal there, and we're off. There was actually a chest there in the corner that I kind of jumped past, and I actually ended up missing it. You should definitely go for these chests, so it was actually a big mistake of me not picking up that chest, because the chest rewards, they're increased by the amount of masks you have, so you know, a chest like that, that's probably gonna give me probably like 400 mementos or so effectively, because of the extra masks. You see me kind of stop here for a second. Actually, I'm a bit confused, because I'm not completely sure if I got both the crystals. I just couldn't remember if I got both the crystals in this area, so that's why I'm stopping and kind of, you know, double checking for myself. But I do come to the conclusion that I have found them both, and I did indeed find them both. This guy can be quite troublesome as a Resto druid, since you don't have an interrupt. What you saw me do there is I place a flag from my bag. This is a rep item. It's from a Mists of Pandaria rep vendor called Order of the Cloud Serpent. They just give you these kind of racing flags that you can you know, place on the ground. If you place them on these locations where he can teleport to, they will just count as a, you know, as somebody being there, so he will stop his kind of intermission phase and just go back to fighting normally. I think it's on like a 30-second cooldown or so. So if you want to, before the fight, you can just place one, wait for 30 seconds, and place one on the other area, and you don't have to deal with this intermission at all. I didn't want to wait this time, so I just kind of went in. As you see, I did end up making some mistakes in that fight. I actually took some unnecessary sanity damage, so I did end up proccing my sheet death, but you know, all is good because I still got 500 sanity, so I'm all good going into last boss. You know, normally going in here to the last boss, when you have extra orbs to spare, you would just pop one here, but you know, just for fun, just as a challenge to myself, I wanted to do one without using any orbs, so that's what you see me doing here, saving those orbs, all three of them, and just popping my drums here, popping my pre-pot, using everything that I have just to nuke down Illyria here and finish off the run. A few mistakes here and there, but overall pretty clean run, and as you can see, very doable to you know, do this without using up any orbs. one thing that you should keep in mind is a run like this, like fully clearing everything with all the chests, all the crystals, everything will net you about 5,000 corrupted mementos or so, which means if you do like 5 or 6 or so of these runs in a week, which you should be able to do if you do all of your like assault related content, then you can end up getting about 1 socket per week, which is pretty nice. You know, you're gonna start getting those sockets pretty darn quickly actually. On top of that, of course, now gear from Horrific Visions has 100% chance to corrupt, so you can get some nice little corrupted items from it as well. Let's see what I get here. Apart from all the mementos, all the quest items and pets and stuff. Final box. Let's see. Bracers with Void Ritual and a socket. Not the worst, not the best either. Void Ritual, not really what I'm looking for. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something.